Hello, everyone. I'm Meredith with the Brahma Kumari's Facebook meditation series. Well, it's actually the Conversation with Friends series that we've been doing over the last few months. And I really enjoy getting to either talk with people or meditate with some of the BKs. But tonight is very special for me because the person that I'm about to actually interview tonight is an old friend, not in the way of age, just an old friend because we go back to the early days of Raja Yoga meditation over 30 years ago. So we started together, we've studied together, and I'm talking about we've traveled all over the world to meditation retreats, or not all over the world, but to some places in the world. And I'm so thrilled to introduce Roz Reich. And Roz is, if you know Roz, then you already love Roz because you know that she is just filled with enthusiasm and positive energy and caring about everyone. And she's quite an amazing person. But if you don't know her, then tonight I think is an opportunity to get to know her. And she has had so many accomplishments with the Brahma Kumari centers over the years. And I can't name them all, but I'll name a couple. The Hollywood libraries, she's responsible for starting all of those and continuing them with her good friend, Etta, and also Peace in the Park, and just so many things that Roz has been doing over the years. So I'm just, again, that's enough. I'm delighted. Enough of me. I want to hear from Roz. So Roz, welcome to Conversations with Friends. And when I think of you, I think of that you're everyone's friend.
So thank you. Thank you. That was a beautiful introduction. And I'm only your mirror because you too, Meredith, are everyone's friend. It seems as if you know everyone in town. Actually, the title should be Yogi in Training, because over the years and all those travels you mentioned, we were blessed to come in contact, to be mentored by so many outstanding yogis, whether it be Veronica in Miami Center or the senior daddies at our headquarters in Mount Abu, India, or at our retreat place in the Catskill Mountains. It was in the late 80s that I was searching. And when I came across the Global Cooperation for a Better World project, I was enthralled with it. In over 100 countries, people were asked, what kind of world would you like to live in? And what are you willing to do to make it happen? And the world that I would like to live in is one where there's peace, love, and joy. And I later found out that meditation was a vehicle to bring it into my life. And Raja Yoga in particular, as opposed to some other methods of meditation, is based on the idea that we are a soul, a point of light energy. And when we meditate in that awareness and in connection with the Supreme Soul, it's as if we take on the color of his company, his love, his powers, and in his company, our thoughts can easily be transformed. I'm inspired by the interview with Michelangelo, asking how he was able to make that beautiful sculpture of David. And he said, you see, he was in there waiting. My job was simply excavating what didn't belong. And that's what Raja Yoga has done for me and with me, day by day, drop by drop, consistently for the 30 years that I've known you. It's like small things done consistently in strategic places can produce major impact. And that's what Raja Yoga has done for me.
So that's a lot of powerful statements right there. I think you said so much. Now, did it happen for you right away? Because I know for some of us, we came and we had feelings that this is the right place. but we weren't sure, because in those early days, we didn't know people that were meditating, or I didn't know people on spiritual paths, a lot of them. And so for me, it took time, although I knew something was really good when I started going. For you, was it more instant? Like, this is it?
It was instant, because I was searching, I was seeking, and it resonated with me from day one, hour one, minute one. I loved it. And I still do. And that is a true blessing. It's as if I won the lottery, the spiritual lottery. And we have not only the yogis in India, but we have so many yogis right here in America. And one of them was B.B. Butler, an artist by profession with paints, but also an artist with words. Unfortunately, she left this world a few years ago, but left behind many beautiful meditations that we'd like to introduce you to on YouTube. So we'd like to give you a sample of the wisdom of the angel voice of B.B. Butler with her meditation entitled The Seeker, which sort of summarizes my initial introduction to Raja Yoga.
So what we're going to do right now is, as you say, we're going to give a sample of B.B. Butler, and let's just do it right now.
There comes a point for many of us when we feel lost, like something essential is missing in our life. And so we begin the journey of the seeker. And we begin to search the world in all four directions for peace, for substance, for love. We look in the quietude of the forest and in nature. We look to the silence of the sky. We look to the stillness of the sunrise, and though we catch glimpses of peace, they come and go, and somehow we can't hold on to them. We even look to find comfort through our possessions. We look to find a sense of feeling important and valuable through positions and titles, and through relationships. And the only reason we search so deeply is because at some point we had the beauty we feel we've lost. And then the day arrives when we go on the right journey, away from the external, into our own being. There comes a time when the seeker goes within and lets go of all the stories of the world, lets go of all their memories and baggage, and the seeker becomes quiet and finds that the door they had been looking for is within them. When we enter into that door, there is a sacred, beautiful, precious stillness of the soul. And in this stillness we know that we are absolutely divine and connected to the Supreme and Beautiful One. And all of a sudden it becomes very clear that those little pieces of peace we got through looking at the forest or the beauty of the sunset, those were only reflections of the beauty of the soul. They were only mirrors that reminded me that that kind of beauty exists within me. And so the seeker's journey comes to an end when we enter the door of our mind and go into the sanctuary of the soul, unleashing our beauty into the world.
Beautiful, beautiful being that BB was or is, and wonderful meditation. And, she started out with talking about the seeker seeking, but seeking within. And you said that you were seeking. And I'm wondering, when you were going around trying different kinds of spirituality or self-help programs, was there this feeling that, well, no, this is not quite right. This is not quite right. And then when you came to the Brahma Kumaris, you said, this is right.
That's how it happened. That's exactly what happened. Yes.
Yeah.
From day one, hour one, second one, and up until now. And speaking of now, recently, a few years ago, we had Bhavna come to the Hollywood Library, and she shared a secret to get rid of 2/3 of your problems.
Mhm.
Would you like to know it?
Yes.
Close the door to the past
Mm.
and open the window, and close the door to the past and the window to the future, and just remain in the present.
Mhm.
And that's what all of us are doing right now. And I, in particular, am blessed with being a caregiver. And the challenges that come with that, Meredith, you recently had that opportunity, and many of our friends are having that opportunity. And there are two mantras that have especially helped me. And that is the question to ask myself: what would love do? What would love do in this case? And I can choose peace instead of this. I can choose to focus on peace instead of this. So love and peace. And lately, I've been using my time to make some very short meditations to give a skill to some non-meditators so they can get a little taste of what meditation is. And I've asked for us to play just a short meditation, if you will, giving an invitation on a pilgrimage to our original home, far, far away above the clouds, to our land of peace, where the Supreme Soul resides. So please join us, relax, and focus on every word in this commentary, please.
I, the imperishable, eternal soul, turn away from the cares of the day and go within. Totally relax and focus on my breathing. I inhale peace and exhale love. Peace, love. I'm ready to journey to my original home, the soul world, where there is only peace, an ocean of peace, an ocean of love, total serenity and freedom. Inhaling peace, exhaling love. And as I ready to return to the physical plane, I imagine if a critical mass of us are being led by our deepest wisdom, perhaps that's how we will take humanity across the threshold of love and peace. And Shanti.
Thank you, Meredith, for sharing that sample.
Thank you for bringing
Yes.
the sample for us to meditate on. Roz, I would like to ask you, we talk about transformation, and this is again a Brahma Kumari, and I'm sure other groups too. This is something we're all committed to, is transforming ourselves. So I'm wondering, when you personally, because I'm interested in understanding your growth, because you have grown so much over the years, when you do have a situation to face, and an obstacle, as you said, that you've had, and I know it well because I've had that too, and you get blocked. What is it that you do to kind of transform? You were saying about seeing the opportunity and but is there something like a real process that goes on within you? Because that doesn't usually happen all in 1 minute that you could change, for me, it doesn't. So I was just
find
wondering.
that thing on my breathing is magical,
Mhm.
because when I do consciously do that, it puts my mind in neutral, and then it clears my mind, and my mind becomes peaceful. So rather than focusing on the outward, I focus inward.
Mhm.
And that's where my peace resides. In that special place is where I go into my private sanctuary, if you will.
To your hidden cave.
Right.
Yes. Going within is truly, it is the secret. And it's interesting to me, Roz, because so many people do the opposite, don't they? And they don't know, or they don't really understand this process, which is, try to just rely on other things to give you pleasure and to make you escape. And some of it could be not very healthy. Even watching too much television. I'm not saying all television is bad. There's some really good programs on, but watching too much television, watching the news too much. I think for some people, it just might even be eating too much. It's just things that people do to escape. People used to have more escapes, not so much anymore, though that's changing. So for you, and I think for the Brahma Kumaris, is that we have to go within and really kind of focus on that transformation, on getting back to our original state, which is where we once were a very long time ago, right? Very long
Exactly.
time ago, of just being peaceful and happy. And I'm sure, Roz, though, because you've counseled and helped so many people. And did we mention that you were a teacher or a professor at Miami-Dade for many years, where you helped so many young people go through a process, an educational process at school. So when people are really either lonely today, or really feeling just so sorry for themselves because people are going through some very real, terrible things, is that basically how you feel that you can help them, by, again, just introducing them to meditation and
Exactly.
spirituality? Yeah.
Exactly. We have many resources that we make available on Facebook, YouTube, counseling over the phone sometimes.
Mhm.
And it's a skill like any other skill, takes practice. And we've been practicing for a long time. And hopefully we're improving. And when the end comes, the 3 questions: did I love enough? Did I laugh enough? And did I different? And those
Beautiful.
things guide me in my life. And I know that many other yogis are guided by similar questions.
I'm glad you said that, because sometimes I think people feel that this is sort of more of an exhausting process. People will say to me, oh, I'd love to meditate, But, oh, it's, I get up in the morning, I fall back asleep, or at night I'm too tired, or I really don't have the time. People say that, or they sit there and they can't really meditate. My experience has been, I'm wondering again, yours is like just to keep going with it and something will happen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As we meditate, it's as if the virtues that our innate DNA are comprised of, they expand as we pay attention to them. We grow our virtues and our life becomes more magical and delightful.
I like that word, Roz, delightful. And I love, again, one of the main principles of Raja Yoga is meditation, is that we're not here to suffer. And I think a lot of people feel, or maybe it's the way they've been educated or the way we've all learned in life, is that, oh, there has to be some suffering, or you have to suffer. That's life, right? That's just the way life is. And Raja Yoga teaches you, and that was a big lesson for me. And I'm wondering if that was for you. You shouldn't, not that you shouldn't, you shouldn't, but you don't have to. You really,
Right.
If something does come up that's really difficult or really, really trying, you can release from that and you can get out of any kind of pain. But again, would you say it takes commitment? I mean, I've seen you over the years and others.
You
It's
too,
commitment.
the two of us, consistency, commitment. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
We've
So,
spoken many times, but this is the first time on camera.
all right. That's true. That's true.
So
I
I
guess there's
thank
always a
you very
first
much.
for everything, right? Maybe next time we'll be doing it through jumping out of an airplane, and like one of our senior teachers did, Denise, years ago, and did skydiving, something really, really exciting, right?
Maybe.
It's interesting because it's an exciting journey, don't you find?
I love it. It is definitely. We're very blessed.
Yeah. And again, I think it's once you find something that's good for you, then keep going with it.
Yes.
Don't give up, because some people, they're in and out. And I've seen people, even, meditators, serious meditators, are in and out. They come, they go. And again, maybe that's fine too. Nothing's wrong, but.
Well,
Yeah.
Meredith, maybe their intention was to find it, but to continue once they found it. They satisfied their intention by finding it.
Yeah.
And they moved on. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has
Maybe
to be
though
to
that they
find
found
it,
the way.
utilize it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all this kind of an amazing process. And maybe you could say a few words about something that is also very near and dear to us these times, although people see them as so terrible, and they are in so many ways, but they are a stepping stone to something much better. So maybe you could speak to that.
Many of us realized that we couldn't continue the way we were going, and that we needed to course correct. We needed a new compass to show us the way that we should be living. And it's sort of been a blessing to have the added time, focus on ourselves. It's a luxury and a necessity at the same time.
I have heard people that were used to running around and doing all the time and going places and everything, say that, God, for the first time in their life, they stood still. They stopped. They realized they didn't have to go to restaurants or the theater 3 nights a week, or they couldn't. And they realized just being at home can be a pleasure. And thanks to Zoom, we can also meditate at home, or do audio. We can do it a lot of different ways today. And so there's really, to me, it's like understanding that this had its reason, and we need to learn from what we're going through now, and that there's going to be something better that we can, or something we can benefit from. You say, even though there might be difficult moments.
But a key here is to use our time in a worthwhile way, because time is evaporating each day, sort of evaporates and goes away like a magic trick. And unless you have a consistent schedule and practice and commitment, it's easy for time to be wasted.
It's funny, I was just reading an article that came out a week ago, and it was a writer who has, for the New York Times, who has really suffered through this whole thing. She can't focus, her concentration, she's depressed, she doesn't enjoy anything anymore. And she, life is really holed up in her house alone. This is a story of so many people. And she also went and interviewed, as part of her story, some specialists and some experts. And what do you think at the end was meditation could be a good thing. And even what they said was a spiritual practice, if you can find one, can be of great value at this time. So it's not just meditation. It's something that you're really committed to and that you get up every day and you have passion for that. So I think it's time for us to say goodbye. I think we've been on quite some time. I know we could go on and on, right? Morning classes together. And as you said, trips, just talking. So this is just, to me, a great pleasure to get to interview you.
Thank you so much for asking me on. I appreciate it.
We thank you, Roz. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
And thank you for being with us. And we hope you'll join us every night of the week. We have so many wonderful teachers at the Brahma Kumari Center at different nights of the week. They're teaching or giving seminars. And so all you have to do is check our Brahma Kumari's Miami Facebook, and you can find out all the news, all the BK local news and the national news and the international news programs and classes that are going on around the world. So again, thanks for being with us. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.